There we have it. Another week down. I'm coming at you on a Monday because yesterday was the Ultimate Panfish League event on Pokegama. I'm sure some of you tuned in. It was quite the conditions. 2 teams got a limit, which is crazy. Never has that happened in 23 years of the UPL. Obviously, those 2 teams did well, first and second, and then third place only had, I think, 12 fish. So that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles, I guess. The conditions. We're going to talk weather conditions a little bit today. You can see my breath here inside my garage. It's cold out. It's been below 0 the last couple days. This morning, I think I woke up to a balmy 1. It was 1 above. It's teens right now. The wind's dying down. It feels pretty nice. In fact, my wife and I, Tara and I, were both talking about how it feels warm today, which is funny because it's only like 14 degrees out. But the sun peeks out and there's no wind and it feels pretty good. We've dealt with wind the last several days. My face hurts, my lips hurt, my hands are cracked and sting on and off throughout the days. It's part of the nature, but tell you what, this is a Minnesota winter. This is what we sign up for. This is what we've wanted. The last couple of years, we didn't get this. We got a ton of snow 2 years ago. We got nothing last year pretty much, and we already have more ice now than we had at any point last year in the Twin Cities. Speaking of ice conditions, now I haven't checked every lake in the Twin Cities area, but I've checked a handful, and we're looking at anywhere from 9 to 14 inches of ice, believe it or not. There are some cars and small trucks starting to drive around the lakes. As you watch this video today on Monday, I would not encourage you to go driving around any of our lakes yet. Now, there's some specific lakes and parts of lakes that notoriously freeze up faster and have stronger ice. What I'm going to tell you to do before you drive on any body of water right now is to make sure for yourself that the conditions are suitable for driving a vehicle. Check out to your spot, check on your way back, then maybe get your vehicle if you feel the need to. Me, Snowdog is going to be getting used this entire week, and then I'm going to Lake of the Woods next weekend. Super excited with my boys. And then when I come back, I feel pretty confident I'll be driving on a lot of the metro lakes. So I'm sure some of you are already driving out there. I'm not sitting here trying to shame you or say anything like that. I'm just saying myself, I'm going to hold off. I have the Snowdog right there on the trailer ready to go again for more fishing tomorrow. So ice conditions looking great, strong ice. It's happening. We're very blessed this year with the cold conditions. I'm looking at the forecast here the rest of the week. We're making ice. We got no snow coming. It looks good for us ice anglers. It's awesome. Super pumped up. Speaking of glare ice, no snow, it's slippery. We talked about micro spikes from Catula in the last week's episode of this, and I'm going to tell you to continue to wear those. Now, we've had people talk about spooking the fish. 100%. Those cleats are going to spook the fish. Us walking is spooking the fish. Us drilling holes is spooking the fish. Kneeling down onto the ice to land a fish spooks the school away. There's so much going on right now that spooks the fish. We got no snow. Tons of light penetration. They can feel and see and hear all kinds of stuff. And then you got all the expanding of the ice. If you've been out fishing the last few days, you know what I'm talking about. Booming, cracking, making noise. It's been loud. I was on a lake the other day that it was so loud, echoing into the woods and the trees nearby, that it sounded like vehicles were plowing through the forest. And that was just the ice bellowing and echoing from expanding, making more ice. To me, a lot of these are good sounds. This isn't that you're going to fall through. These are the ice cracking noises where you tell yourself, we're making some ice. Things are happening. Things are expanding. Yesterday at the Floppy Crappie coming off the lake before our tournament weigh-in, we watched a heave actually happen before our eyes. Buckle up. Tom Dobbins, Thane, a bunch of us had to take chisels and break it down so people could get back off the ice. It's a powerful thing. So, not to get scientific, let's move on to the fishing side of things. Fishing's good. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, we just talked about how these fish are running around. They're sprinting. They hear everything. They're weary of everything going on. They're not staying put. This is the time of year in this situation where we need to stay put. And I know I've preached forever, and we've all read about it, and we've been taught to be mobile and get active and chase these fish, and we have forward-facing sonar and all these tools to do it. We're having much better success by finding the fish. Okay, they're here. There's a pod here. There's a pod behind me, 30 feet. They're kind of in this area. get your holes punched, flip your trap, set up your hub, and sit. We have seen fivefold success by doing that versus moving around and chasing these fish, because you're spooking them, you're pushing them, you're moving them, they're meandering, they're nomadic. Where if you just sit down, hunker down, flip the trap, get quiet, get calm, focus on your MarCum, on what comes through, you're catching a lot more fish. So that's something I noticed. Even the teams that did well in the UPL, I know the team that took second, Eric and McCoy, they just sat on one spot and they caught a limit, one of two teams to do it, while a lot of these other teams are moving and shaking and grooving, which has been a successful formula for years. Not in these situations, not in these conditions. So find the fish, sit down, take a deep breath, and focus on the fish that show up, and you're going to catch more of them. So how are we catching our fish? A variety of different ways. I know Eric the other day crushed them on this exact setup. That's a 16th ounce pinhead, gold pinhead. It's that gold holographic perch, I believe, 16th ounce. He was fishing a spinning rod. This is a scepter noodle rod, 3-pound test, frost monofilament, Kejic reel. That caught a pile of fish, crappies, even some bluegills. Very effective, very quick, drops down fast. We caught him on drop kicks. We caught him on 16th ounce and 132nd ounce pinheads. I know we caught some on Tika Flash. There's your pink Wonder Bread Tika Flash. This is the brand new Jason Mitchell meat stick with that lapis blank. You got a Masago reel, 3-pound test line. Actually a really fun setup. This catches them in all kinds of ways. You can fish the largest Tika Flash like we're doing here. You can fish a 16th ounce or an 8th ounce Pinhead Pro, which is what we're doing for our larger fish. This is going to be more of your aggressive presentation. We are using a spinning rod for this. Get down quick, get down fast, and I'm working that bait pretty quickly. I'm not worried about line twist with either one of these, which is why the spinning reel comes into play, and that's a super fun setup. That one's got a lot of workout under its belt in the last week as well. So that's kind of how we're catching our fish, is we're continuing to fish. I talked about fishing aggressive even in these situations, and that's where that Pinhead Pro comes into play. That's where that Tika Flash comes into play. That's where a drop kick and a bolt minnow comes into play. We even have a drop kick. I'm looking down because I'm looking at my crate of rods that I got rigged up here. Magnum crate from Clam, 2 4-position rod holders inside there, and I got 3 inline setups and 3 spinning setups there for clients to use when we go out fishing. And I'm looking down at that because that's the stuff we've been using the last few days. So that drop kick bolt minnow combo been phenomenal on fish. Obviously, we talked about the pinhead, a lot of ways to catch them. So that's kind of what we're doing. In terms of positions and areas, a lot of these fish are relating to some kind of structure, but they're not sitting on it. It's weird. They're not sitting on the structure. They're relating to the structure. So I'm getting close to the structure, finding where these pods of fish are, and I'm hunkering down. A lot of times I'm going to chase them down over the basin edge of this structure, or I'm going to sit on the structure. This is a weird situation where they're just off the structure. Like I said, they're relating to it, so they're nearby, and they're just kind of nomadically roaming that area. No different than if I chased them on a normal bite, but instead I'm just kind of sitting put and letting these pods just kind of intercept where I'm at, and we've had success doing that. Depth ranges have been, I would say our key depths in the last week have been at 13 to 25 feet. Sounds like a big spectrum. I get it. That's a 12-foot spectrum there, but it depends on the body of water. Is your water dirty, stained? Is it clear? If it's clear, I'm in that 20 to 25 foot. If it's dirtier and stained, I've had really good success in 13 to 18 feet of water. So it depends on the body of water you're fishing. And if talking about across the metro, obviously not all lakes are considered equal. So those are things to take into consideration. So I know a lot of you are using forward-facing sonar. So am I. I get it. I know we hear all the positive and negatives, not getting into that, but use that tool now to find these fish. Find a couple schools. Get on top of where you feel these fish are and be like, oh, there's a pod. Oh, there's a pod. Oh, there's a pod behind me, and set up right there. I'm telling you, flip the trap, set up the hub, and hunker down. Especially when it's colder like this, you're more comfortable. You're going to have better success. You're going to be more efficient, and you're going to be able to focus on what's going on. I got the buddy heater going. I'm keeping warm, and it's crazy. I know the last several guide trips, my clients did way better just sitting down. I'm a broken record, sitting down, then moving around. UPL, sitting down, then moving around. So there's a trend here. So give that a try this week. I know you're looking at cold temps most of this week. We don't have any days above freezing. which is great. A little snow coming maybe later on in the weekend, and this is kind of our trend, I think, here for the next couple weeks. We'll see. If we don't get snow cover, it's probably going to be consistent. Now, they're going to acclimate a little bit naturally into some of these situations where they're used to the noises and used to that sort of stuff. So we still will see things get easier regardless. But without that ample amount of snow, we're going to have some challenges here the next couple weeks, I have a feeling. But we'll see. We'll continue to report back. Next week, like I said, I'm going to be up on Lake of the Woods. I will try to get a metro report at you on what I found. I'm going to be on the ice the next few days, and then I'm taking off for a few days for Lake of the Woods. I'm pumped up. Like I said, I'll get you a Lake of the Woods report too if any of you are up there chasing walleyes and saugers and everything that swims on beautiful Lake of the Woods. I'm eager, I'm pumped, I'm excited. So thanks for tuning in. This is the first report of 2025. It is already 2025. It's crazy to think it's already January 6th. Let's get after it. Have a great ice fishing season. Get out there. Be safe.